Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another video with Brooklyn. I hope this wet Tuesday morning finds you all well. It's raining in my neck of the woods here in North Carolina. It's chilly outside. It's supposed to get up to like 59 today, but you know when it's raining, it's not really 59, it's really 39 outside, especially in January. That's my take on it. Rain always brings cold. Even in the summertime when it rains, it gets chilly. It may turn hot after it stops raining, but it always gets chilly to me. Okay, so this morning I want to talk to you all about a legislator who had a question about the black population, okay, in Columbus, Ohio. He had a question about the black population. So I'm going to read you all some of this and see what you all think about it. Okay, so it says legislator who questioned black hygiene to lead panel. A Republican lawmaker and doctor who questioned whether members of the colored population were disproportionately contracting the coronavirus because of their hygiene is drawing new criticism from black lawmakers after his appointment to lead the state Senate Health Committee. Could it just be that African Americans or the colored population do not wash their hands as well as other groups? Or wear masks, or do not socially distance themselves? State Senate Stephen Huffman asked a black health expert in June 11 testimony. Could that just be the explanation of why there's a higher incident? Huffman of Tip City was appointed last week by Senate President Matt Huffman, his cousin, to chair the committee even after he was fired from his job as a Dayton area emergency room physician for his comments. So he was fired from being a physician for making that comment. And then his cousin hired him to take on this responsibility after insulting people of color, because we don't wash our hands, we don't wear our mask, and we don't social distance. Now, from what I've been seeing, now I know everyone don't wash their hands, but how are you going to pinpoint a certain race, people of color, or African Americans is what he said, of not washing their hands? I've seen so many people of non-color without a mask on. Okay? I work with people who are not of color, who I've seen through the years not wash their hands. You're working, you're touching papers, you're doing everything, and you pick up your sandwich and you eat your sandwich. You go, I've seen that. I've been in the stores and went to restrooms and seen people walk out of non-color and walk right past the sink. I mean, I'm just telling the truth. And I'm sure there are people of color that do not keep up their hygiene. There's some in every race. But according to him, Stephen Huffman, that's why the coronavirus is spreading. That's why we're having an increase in this disease, because African Americans and people of color do not wash their hands, do not wear masks, and we don't social distance. Now, again, like I said, I'm sure there's some that do that. But how about not grouping everyone and saying that's the reason why the disease is spreading, because of us? Because we don't wash our hands, we don't wear masks, and we don't social distance like other groups. Well, what's the other group? Because he said African American and people of color. So that would leave what other group? Europeans. They're the only ones that follow the rules during this coronavirus. They're the only ones that wash their hands. They're the only ones that wear masks. And they're the only ones that socially distance themselves. But every time I look on the news and there's a party of 300 when they were told to social distance themselves, especially around the holidays, there's a party of 300 people of non-color. Every time they have a problem on the news, majority of the time, it's a person of non-color who don't want to wear their mask. Just recently, at the riot on Capitol Hill, the insurrection on Capitol Hill, people of non-color, this man's group, Republicans, even in the Capitol, wouldn't wear masks. Wouldn't wear masks. They even smeared feces into the Capitol, carpet and all on the walls. So washing their hands was minute. But African Americans and people of color are the reason why this virus is spreading. We're the reason. Just in case you people of color and African Americans out there did not know that. And matter of fact, he called African Americans first. So we're number one. And then any other people of color, which would be Asian and Dominican and Mexican and Pakistani and Indian and Hindus, you all fall in the category underneath African Americans. You don't wash your hands. You don't social distance. You don't wear masks. Basically, you stink. You're dirty. You don't shower. You don't bathe. Because if you don't wash your hands after you come out the bathroom, then, and that's very important because your hands go into your mouth, your hands go into your face, into your eyes, then maybe you don't wash up either. Because I'm sure that's what he's thinking. He said hygiene. Hygiene is your whole body, not just your hands. He said hygiene. Socially distancing and wearing a mask is not hygiene. And definitely just washing your hands does not consist of a whole body routine of hygiene. So he said hygiene, which means he's thinking that we're dirty. We don't wash. We're not clean. That's why he said what he said. And this is someone who's in a seat. He's a legislator. He was fired from being a physician, and his cousin called him and sat him in a position that's higher than what he was fired from after he made that statement. Now, black lawmakers and everyone are having a fit. Of course, they don't want him to be over the health department of the state. Of course not. Because if he feels that way, everything that's going on wrong with any kind of infectious disease, he's going to put it on another race besides his own. That's his agenda. That's his agenda. He walked right in there and blamed other races for starting and carrying this coronavirus, for transmitting it, for making it worse, because we don't do what we're supposed to do. Now, like I said, I'm sure there's some people of color and some African Americans who don't. But there's a whole lot of people of non-color who don't. Europeans who don't wash their hands, who don't wear masks, and who don't socially distance. And I can guarantee it's more of them than it is of the other. You know? So to get on here and to say stuff about that, like that about people, is playing out right. It's just ludicrous and it's just ridiculous. I mean, he's a licensed doctor in Ohio, and they said that Senator Huffman is a medical doctor and highly qualified to chair the health committee. With making statements like that, he might be qualified as far as being intellectually smart because he studied. But as far as having common sense and scruples and morals, he's not qualified. You have to have more than book smarts to be in positions. It don't just take book smarts. You have to have common sense. You have to have some morals about yourself. You have to know when to say things and when not to say things. You have to be able to know when to limit your comments and keep your personal comments to yourself. You know, he's not qualified because it takes a whole package to be qualified, not just half a package. You know, that's like you want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but you making a peanut butter sandwich and leaving the jelly sitting to the side. You got jelly, and I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but you're never putting the jelly on the bread. In order to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you have to have 3 components. Well, really 4. Your knife to spread it, your 2 slices of bread, your peanut butter, and your jelly. But if you don't have every piece, you can't have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So to be qualified for this position that they put him in after he made this racist comment, he's not qualified because he don't have all the components. He may know things about health, but then he makes these comments that is ignorant and stupid to blame someone, a certain race, for carrying it like a bug, a roach, and then he apologized for it. He said, I'm apologizing for asking a clumsy and awkward worded question. Sincere apologies deserve sincere forgiveness and not the perpetual politically weaponized judgment of the cancel culture, he said. So now he wants this position. He wants everybody to forgive him for saying what he really feels. I feel this way. When you say something that you really believe, you don't owe anyone an apology. That's your belief. But certain things that you believe need to stay in your mouth, stay in your thoughts, stay in here, and don't say anything. Certain things, when you're in certain positions, you just cannot say. Because he's supposed to be representing the entire community. So from this statement, I would suggest that he is only working for his people, the Republicans and people of non-color, because he's already going into office signaling out certain groups. So he's not helping the whole community. He's not caring about the whole community. He's caring about him and his people. The white Republicans, people of non-color, Europeans. But you want everyone to forgive you, though, because remember, people of non-color, people of color, and African Americans vote. So he said that they put him in chair, but he's going to still need support from the whole community. So now they're calling for his removal. Be careful what you say. Before you vote for someone and put someone in some places, some offices, some chairs, whatever they're doing, do history, do research. Don't just vote for people. Don't follow the crowd. Because this man has an agenda. He's placing blame. So what kind of man would he be to work in that field? Because every time something comes up about health, he's not going to take responsibility in his race. He's going to put it on other people. That's my opinion. He's already doing it. That's a very big insult because I wash my hands all day and I hand sanitize. My hands so dry, I'm constantly putting lotion on. Constantly. I always wear a mask and I practice social distancing when possible. It's not always possible because you have to work, you have to be in stores, but so how are you going to group everyone? He didn't just say some, he said African Americans, that would be all, and people of color are the reason because they don't do these things. Could it possibly be? That's what he said. Because that's what he believes. So anyway, I'm going to end it there. I want to give you all something to think about. So you all have a terrific Tuesday, okay? Be careful, be safe. Wash your hands, people. Wear your mask and practice social distance, okay? Social distancing. I think I said that right, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to say vielen Dank. That's thank you very much in German. So vielen Dank for watching me. And choose, that's what? That's bye in German.